everybody, me again. I thought I had some extra time available today, so why not do a little extra video. So I decided to do a quick review of Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the author's name. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. So anyways, this is just gonna be a short review of this poetry collection. I recently read it and I did enjoy it. I wasn't extremely impressed by the writing style, but overall I did enjoy it. This poetry collection is pretty much about abuse, is about survival, is about love, is about forgiveness, is about femininity, and is about healing. So that is all, very good, and I love that. The poems are divided by sections. So there's 4 parts to this book, and I don't remember the titles of each part, but there's the hurting is the first part, and that part is the one that I believe is the most rape heavy. So if you're sensitive to those kind of topics, you might definitely not enjoy this poetry collection. Then the second one is the loving, the third one is the breaking, and the fourth one is the healing. So those are the 4 parts of the poetry collection. The poems themselves, some were really good and some were not so good. Some felt like really, hit the heart kind of poems, and they left you thinking, and they were beautiful. And others felt more like sayings and quotes rather than an actual poem. They felt more like something you will find on Pinterest or on Tumblr or something along the lines of that. So I personally love poetry and I read quite a lot of poetry. So for me, although it was enjoyable, it was not, the best poetry book that I've read. So overall, I gave this book 3 stars because, like I said, I did enjoy some of the poems. I'll read to you 1 poem of each section that I enjoyed, just to give you an idea of what the poetry kind of sounds like. Like I said, they're all a little bit different, so some sound like the ones that I liked, and others sounded a little bit more like a quote or a saying or something along the lines of that. So from the first section called The Hurting, the one that I pick for this review is this one here, and it says, "Emptying out of my mother's belly was my first act of disappearance. Learning to shrink for a family who likes their daughters invisible was the second. The art of being empty is simple. Believe them when they say you are nothing. Repeat it to yourself like a wish. I am nothing, I am nothing, I am nothing. So often, the only reason you know you're still alive is from the heaving of your chest." And the name of this poem is The Art of Being Empty. So the one that I picked from the second part, which is called The Loving, is this one here, which says, "When my mother was pregnant with her second child, I was 4. I pointed at her swollen belly, confused at how my mother had gotten so big in such little time. My father scooped me in his tree-trunk arms and said, 'The closest thing to God on this earth is a woman's body, is where life comes from, and to have a grown man tell you something so powerful at such a young age changed me to see the entire universe rested at my mother's feet.'" So the one that I picked from The Breaking, which is the 3rd part of this poetry collection, says, "Do you think I was a city big enough for a weekend's getaway? I am the town surrounding it, the one you've never heard of, but always pass through. There are no neon lights here, no skyscrapers or statues, but there is thunder, for I make bridges tremble. I am not street meat, I am homemade jam, thick enough to cut the sweetest thing your lips will touch. I am not police sirens, I am the crackle of a fireplace. I'll burn you and you still couldn't take your eyes off me, 'cause I look so beautiful doing it, you blush. I am not a hotel room, I am a home. I am not the whiskey you want, I am the water you need. Don't come here with expectations and try to make a vacation out of me." And the poem that I picked from the last section, called The Healing, says, "Apparently it is ungraceful of me to mention my period in public, 'cause the actual biology of my body is too real. It is okay to sell what's between a woman's legs, more than it is okay to mention its inner workings. The recreational use of this body is seen as beautiful, while this nature is seen as ugly. And those are all the poems that I wanted to share with you today. Now, this poetry collection also has drawings in it, so each poem has some kind of drawing that she drew as well. So it's interesting in that aspect, you know. Like I said, some of the poems are really amazing and others are just okay. I think it might be a little bit overrated, but it was still good, it was still enjoyable, and I'm glad that I got to read it. I hope you guys enjoyed this short and quick book review. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read this poetry collection and what your thoughts on it are. If you loved them more than I did or less, or what you think of the writing, what you think of the poems. I'm interested to know your thoughts on the matter, and I shall see you soon in another video.